at all. I mostly just wanted to pop on here and talk about the direction of the channel and everything that kind of led me up to making the decision that I made for the channel, and basically what's going to be happening from here on out. Basically what's going to happen is from here on out, here in like 10 days, I am going to be switching the name of the channel entirely to the name of my last stream, which is Unwritten Recovery, and that's for a very important reason. Over the last 8 years, I've been through hell and back. I've dealt with a lot of the worst shit that anyone could ever deal with. Everything from deaths in my family, deaths of friends, the loss of loved ones. Some of the darkest stuff that anybody could ever have to deal with. And it's not been easy. It's actually been very, very difficult. It's been very hard. And this is something that I've seriously sat down with my family and some of my closest friends and actually talked to them about. And I know a lot of people are already going to have their opinions about me, and I'm sure there's people in the comments right now already, you know, running their mouths, talking shit, whatever, and it is what it is. But I personally feel like ever since the Music Biz Marty made me a target, I feel like a lot of people have a misconception about me. And I truly feel like a lot of people have been robbed of getting to know the real me. Because that me that Music Biz Marty made me into, yeah, that was me, but it wasn't me. It's not who I wanted to be. I never wanted to be that person that he morphed me into. I never wanted to be that kind of person that lashed out and said stuff out of pocket. I understand that, you know, I said a lot of fucked up shit. And, you know, and I get it. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of people really understand that when I said those things, I was not in a very good state of mind. I was dealing with so much in my life and was being attacked so fucking much. And my family was reaching out for help to all, you know, to everybody that we could. Like, we were all reaching out. You know, we were reaching out to police, to FBI, to detectives, Homeland Security. Like, we were reaching out to all these people for help. And at one point, I even reached out to the suicide hotline just to seek some sort of solace, to seek some sort of help. And unfortunately, we never got anything in return. And that kind of led me down to that road of lashing out and saying stuff that I do genuinely and honestly regret. Like, I do genuinely regret a lot of the fucked up shit that I've said. I do regret a lot of the shit that I've done in my past, the way I've handled stuff. But when you're backed into a corner and you're being attacked so much, it's stressful. It really is stressful, and it's hard. It can be very, very difficult to deal with. And because my life got brought up so fast on the internet, because people started digging in to me so fast and just really looking into me like, oh, well, let's see this guy's past to see what he did. Like, I don't think anybody really got to know the real me. And I feel like a lot of you guys got robbed of that opportunity to actually get to know me as a person. A lot of you guys never got to see the fun side of me. you know, the side of me that's actually happy, that wants to do good, that wants to, you know, make you guys smile. The me that I used to be before all this. Because before all this stuff went down, yes, I was online, but I wasn't on YouTube at that time. When I first started doing live streams, I was on Facebook way back in the day. Like, that's where I started out at. And back then, I enjoyed it. I fully and truly, absolutely loved what I did. I really did. I absolutely enjoyed every second of it. Because back then, I was just hanging out with my friends. I was, you know, doing local shows for my music almost every other week. I was, you know, working on a vlog channel that I had at the time. I also started doing a little bit of urban exploration at the time too, because there was a few places that have been since torn down that I decided that I wanted to explore, because Summit Lake has so much history behind it that I was like, yo, let me see if there's any really cool places that I can go check out and see, like, whether they're old buildings, old landmarks, you know, doing whatever I could to kind of, you know, have fun with what I was doing. And soon after that, I started working on short films. And what led me to doing short films was I had actually seen a video that one of my favorite YouTubers that actually inspired me to start doing YouTube as a career and started taking it seriously was Jacksepticeye and his short film that he had released around 2018, where it was just himself, just, you know, him filming and creating this beautiful masterpiece of a video that to this day I still fully enjoy watching. And that kind of led me into that. And that's when obviously I came out with the film The Darkness. I also started working on some other projects too that I would like to eventually start working on again. One of them is actually a very important piece to me that I would like to start working on at some point, which is a film about suicide and how cyberbullying and trolling and how all that bad stuff can actually lead to suicide. And, you know, and I get a lot of people hate me for, you know, the fact that Marty tricked me, what he tricked me into. And I get it, you know, I shouldn't have fell for that shit. And you guys would be right to say that and to think that. And believe me, I do regret falling for that trick that he did. You know, I do regret falling for that entrapment that he did. I do feel bad about that. It does suck. Because as a result of that, my whole life got turned upside down. You know, my whole life got fucked up because of that. Now, am I to fully blame? No. He is definitely part of me, you know, he definitely has a part to blame. You know, and I just find it very messed up that no one's holding him accountable for what he's done and for what he did in his side of the things. Which I think, you know, that's very fucked up, that nobody's holding him accountable for making me a target to begin with. And for all you guys that do want to see me do good, that do want to see me do better, just let me say that I apologize for you guys not getting to see who I could really be to begin with. You know, I don't feel that it was fair that you guys got robbed of, you know, watching me, you know, grow as not only a content creator, but I have been robbed of a lot of my channels in the past. I've been robbed of a lot of content. Eventually I would like to start my own merchandise line to, you know, help inspire people to do better every day. If I can find it, there's this thing that I wrote several years ago. Actually, it was more like, yeah, it was like 8, 9 years ago. Or no, it wasn't even 8, 9 years ago. It was like maybe 3.5 years ago. I was watching this video that I came across by this guy named Tulam, who, if you guys have ever played Call of Duty, he actually did the voice character. He did the voiceover for the character Ronin for Call of Duty, which honestly is one of my personal favorite characters to this day. But I was watching one of Toulon's videos where he talked about the Book of Five Rings. And I sat down and I really thought about my situation. And I came up with this thing called the 10 Keys to Zen and a Happier Life. And what I would eventually like to do is turn that into something. You know, put that on my clothing or, you know, what have you. But first, alright. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back. I just had to grab dinner real quick. Doing chicken noodle soup and grilled cheese sandwich for dinner, which I will be eating as soon as I get done with this video. But I don't know why it's cool, because it is freaking hot as hell, man. But, you know, like I was saying, you know, I just feel like, you know, that nobody has been holding any of these people that have attacked me responsible for what they've done. Like, I get where I made my mistakes. I do. I understand that. And, you know, it's the way I handled it was not okay. You know, it was completely fucked up. But another thing that I don't seem to, well, not that I don't get it, but one thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand about me personally is that all those times that I lashed out, all those times where I went off and I started screaming, that wasn't me being funny. That wasn't me trying to put on an act. Those screams were genuinely me being pissed off. Me being pissed off at the situation. Me genuinely wanting to get away from all that. Like, when I raged out, I get it. You guys find it funny that I rage out. I understand that. And believe me, I get it better than you guys think, because back when I came up on YouTube, you know, back when I was, before I even became a content creator, when I was just a consumer like a lot of you guys, you know, back when I just merely just watched, you know, I would watch people like Angry Gamer Nerd, Angry German Kid, Angry Grandpa. Like, I used to watch that stuff too, so I get it. You know, I understand that mindset of finding it funny when someone gets pissed off, they rage out, they get pissed off, they do something wild and crazy. I get it. But for me, it wasn't about that. I wasn't trying to put on a show. I wasn't trying to put on an act. I wasn't trying to be funny. All those times when I raged out, I was genuinely and deeply hurt. Because I did not understand how somebody could be so vile and so evil to make someone so angry that they lash out. Like, I never understood that. And to this day, I still don't understand the enjoyment of it. Like, I get, like, you know, it's a funny, like, when it's a funny channel, I get when, you know, people get a laugh out of someone raging out and stuff, and you know that it's an act, and you know they're putting on a show. I can understand that. But watching someone purposely get bullied, someone who is raging out and who is genuinely just wanting to live their life and to make an honest living doing what they truly love, what they've been passionate about for so long. What's so funny about making fun of that person that's dealing with something like that? And what I don't understand is, why is nobody holding these people like Music Biz Marty, William Glory Hole, and WordBoi, and all these people that talk negative about me, that have had a direct hand in screwing up my life? Why is nobody holding them accountable for what they did? Because, like, you don't see Music Biz Marty saying, oh, yeah, I set him up, and here's why I did it. You don't hear him taking accountability for his actions. But let me tell you, there are multiple times where I've came out and admitted that I was fucked up and falling for his trick. There are multiple times that have been wiped from YouTube history because these people don't want to let it go. Where I've openly come out and said, yeah, it was fucked up what I did. You know, I shouldn't have fell for it. You know, it was fucked up, I get it. But like I said, and this is what gets me. People like Mastro Mafia don't ever want to tell the real truth. They want to sit there and twist the screenshots and make it look a certain way to benefit them. Because people like her are genuinely evil people. And I've unfortunately had to bear witness to not only what she does, but to what other people like her do for clicks and views. And it's honestly disgusting. And the fact that she got to get away with all that, with pretending to be 18, and then pretending to be underage, and not only that, but sending a fucking photo of her fucking daughter. Do you know how fucked up that is? Like, what kind of sick human being do you have to be to send somebody a photo of your own daughter and pretend that it's you? Like, do you know how disgusting that is? That's not cool. That's not okay. But like I said, the reason why I want to change up this channel to Unwritten Recovery is because I am in that process of recovering. I am in that process of getting back to who I used to be before everything. I'm in that process of, healing from, all the bad stuff that I've dealt with. And honestly, that's why I do have a lot of trust issues. It's because of all that. It's not that it's my fault. It's that people kept on tricking me over and over and over and over again. And me being the kind-hearted person that I am, I like to believe, and would like to believe, that there's a shred of decency in everybody. Not everybody is bad people. Not everybody is evil. Not everybody is out to get you. And, and I have found a few people that, have genuinely tried to help me. And to those of you that have tried to help me, I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. These last few months have been some of the craziest in my life. From October of last year up to February of this year has been one of the craziest times of my life. I go from ending up being with somebody that I've known for 13 plus years to being engaged, and then to ultimately losing them, and then ultimately losing that, not only that person, but also being a dad to their son, who I basically helped to raise for their entire life. I had helped my ex, Kira, raise her son his entire life. I basically was there to discipline him when he needed it. I told her if he was doing something bad. I would always make sure that his homework got done. I would always spend time with him, gaming out with him, having fun, playing different racing games with him, drawing with him, playing, silly little family games and stuff, And I enjoyed every minute of it. But unfortunately, fate had other plans. Or more or less, she had other plans. And let me tell you, it did hurt watching her walk out. That did hurt. It stung immensely. Like, it's one of the worst feelings that I had ever felt in my life. Because here's this wonderful, amazing, beautiful woman who I thought the world of. Somebody that I gave up my career for. Somebody that I put my whole life on hold for. Somebody that I walked away from everything I had dreamed of. And I don't think you guys really realize how close I was to living my dream and making it a reality. I had hit every mark on the YouTube algorithm count to be able to get monetized. All I had to do was wait out a couple months and whatnot, because I had had a warning on my channel and whatnot, and I was just waiting that out. And then I would have been able to apply for monetization. I was so close to making my dream a reality that I was actually excited. But I walked away from that for my ex Kira. I walked away from that to be a fiance and to be a future husband to her, and to be a dad to her son Callum, and to be that life partner, to live that normal life that I had longed for since all this craziness started. Since all this chaoticness started, I had always wanted that sense of normality where I could do my job as a content creator but still have that sense of peace and still have that sense of like, hey, I not only have my job that I love, I'm not only a content creator and I love what I do, but I'm also able to be myself and be normal and not have to worry about it. I can do my job, put out content, and, live my life. And still be normal. And still have my friends and still have the people that I care about around me. Because I can't tell you how many times when I made content videos, back when I was doing the racing videos, or back when I was doing all that content on the CYRAXX Nation channel that, like I said, has since been taken down by me personally. How many times her son Callum would always ask me, hey, can you upload a new video? Hey, he would always ask me, when are you doing another racing video, Daddy? When are you making another video? When are you doing another horsey video, referring to Red Dead Redemption 2? Like he would love, like that little boy loved the videos that I made. Like he would watch them religiously. Like every day I uploaded a video, he'd be right there watching it either before school or after school. 9 times out of 10, it was usually after school because he usually didn't have a whole lot of time in the mornings. But, it's the little things like that that I enjoyed. Like, I enjoyed being a dad. I enjoyed having that opportunity to be able to do that. And don't get me wrong, I will always miss that little boy, but I will also miss Kira too, yes. But I also know, because I had this conversation with a friend of mine, I have to do what's best for me, and I have to let them both go. As hard as that is, I have to do that for the betterment of myself. Now, whether he reaches out to me when he gets older, that's on him. And I've had this discussion with Callum. Like, for a 5-year-old, he's actually very smart. He's actually a lot smarter than what people think he is. This boy literally skipped a grade, okay? This boy literally went from preschool to straight up first grade. Like, this boy is smart. Like, he's actually very smart, very, very bright. Honestly, one of the smartest kids I've ever met. And I had that conversation with him where I told him, like, look, if anything happens between me and mommy, just know that when you get older, if you want to reach out to me and contact me, you're more than welcome to. And that I will always be there, no matter what. And I meant it. Like, when he gets older, if he wants to reach out to me and talk to me about, why me and his mom split, why she left, what happened, I would gladly talk with him. I would gladly have that conversation with him. But right now, I need to focus on myself. I need to do better for myself. You know, I have projects that I've been wanting to work on for a very, very long time. Stuff such as an animated series that I started working on. It's actually an anime series that I started about 4 or 5 years ago that I started to work on the concept of, that I'm finally able to start slowly bringing that vision to life, which I'm super excited about. Like, I'm super excited about that. I can't really go into much detail of that because I want it to be a surprise for you guys whenever it does release. Like, I want you guys to be able to have that surprise. But, you know, I've been working on stuff like that. I've also been working on a book talking about everything that I've been through. You know, and how everything has affected my life in many, many ways. Because I'm not going to lie, the hell that I've been through, it's not been easy. There have been times where I've often thought about taking my own life. There have been times where I've even attempted it because I wasn't able to handle what was going on. But then when I sat down with some of my friends and some of my family, and thank God I'm still very good friends with my counselor from 2012, you know, with all of them, you know, I was able to realize, like, I don't need to be doing that. Taking my life over what somebody thinks of me is not worth it. Taking my life over somebody that ultimately doesn't deserve me, that walked out on her own. You know, I don't need to be taking my life over that. Because I was talking to very much a long-time fan who actually is now one of my closest friends. I was sitting down and talking with them earlier today, and they said the same thing, that no person is worth taking your life over. No amount of hatred or disgust or whatever evil thing is going on is worth taking your life over. Because let me tell you, these last several months have been some of the hardest for me. I've lost a lot. I've had to watch, like I said, somebody that I truly loved and cared about walk out of my life. You know, I lost, you know, that person's son who I saw as my own flesh and blood son. Like, even though he's not mine by birth, I still saw him as my own flesh and blood son, because I know what it's like to not have a dad. I know what it's like to not have that father figure in your life that's there to, you know, guide you and, you know, make sure that you're doing good. And for me, it felt good to be able to say that, you know, I had a positive influence on him. And, you know, maybe one day, like I said, maybe one day down the road, when he comes of age and he's more able to grasp fully what really went on, you know, one day maybe he'll reach out to me and we can talk, and, you know, I can be that father figure again. Who knows? But right now, I need to focus on myself, because like I said, I know I deserve better. I know I can do better, and I know that I can be better. And that's what I want to aim this channel at. Like, I want to aim this channel at not only my recovery and my journey back to who I used to be in the very, very beginning before any of this chaotic stuff happened, but I also want to gear this channel towards inspiring people by showing people that you can go through the worst shit of your life. You can go through the worst stuff ever. Like, you can, you know, lose everything, and there will still be light at the end of that tunnel. I want to show people that it's never too late to chase your dreams. It's never too late to, you know, to get up and make your dreams a reality. It's never too late to change who you are as a person. You know, like, and I want to show that, you know, not only through, you know, my cover shows that I do, not only through my music, which, by the way, I actually am working on a alternative rock album, which ironically is going to be named after the channel. And that album, I'm actually currently 4 or 5 songs in. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, give or take. But, you know, that's why I decided to name this channel what it is. Because like I said, I want to be that inspiration for people that I used to be. You know, I want to be that person that, you know, shows people like, hey, no matter how bad you fuck up in life, there's always a chance to redeem yourself. There's always room for change. There's always room to be a better person. And I want to show that I can be a better person despite all the negative comments, despite all the hatred, despite all the bad shit. You know, I want to show that, you know, I'm not this evil piece of shit human being that people have made me out to be. You know, I want to show that I can actually be that level-headed person. That I can be that fun-loving, fun-having, charismatic, funny, goofy, random, you know, guy that I used to be back in 2016 and 2017 before everything went down. Like, I really want to bring that part of my life back to life. I want to bring that person who I was on my original Facebook, who I was before I started getting attacked. Like, I want to bring that part of my life back from the dead and back to life. And, you know, and hopefully you guys that are new to this and are watching this, you know, hopefully you guys will be here to join me on that journey to see that I'm actually out here trying to do better. You know, and it's people like William Gloryhole that are not evil people, and that is going to be a task. Getting around him and getting back to where I used to be content creation-wise is going to be difficult, but it is doable. I know and very understandingly know that this journey is not going to be an easy one. It's not going to be an easy task. But one thing that I have learned over all the years of dealing with what I've dealt with is that nothing easy is worth doing. And nothing worth doing is ever easy. And I want to show that progression every day of me doing cover shows, inspiring you guys, hanging out with you guys, doing gameplay videos, bringing back the coffee and chill streams I know a lot of you guys used to like, where I would sit down, I would hang out, I'd grab a cup of coffee in the mornings or in the afternoon, and we'd just sit down, we'd just talk, and we'd have fun. Like, that's what I want to get back to, are the fun times. Like, I don't want to be stuck in this negativity for the rest of my life. I want to break out of that. I want to break away from that. You know, I want to finally start up my merch line where, like I said, I'm not only doing the quotes that I created that have helped me along my journey, but I also want to start working on the clothing line that I started to work on ideas for a while back, which are, they're actually 2 different clothing lines. They're ones that are more of like a gothic anime style inspired vibe for all y'all that are, you know, like myself, if you're like alternative, you know, whether you're, you know, gothic, emo, whether you just like going to Hot Topic, whether you're an anime nerd like myself, you know, like, I want to have that clothing brand for you guys, because, I mean, look at me, dude. I wear fucking dark clothes almost all the time. I mean, have you seen my fucking shirt, bro? Like, come on. It says, please do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. Like, come on. Like, I want to have cool stuff that not only that I would wear, but I know you guys would wear as well. For all my coffee drinkers out there, yes, I'm going to have some merch for you guys too. Because I know all y'all out there, all my coffee drinkers, I know that y'all have been wanting some merch for a long time now. I will be working on some merchandise for that. Maybe even some stickers. I'm not sure yet. But, hopefully I can get around all this to where I can start making that merch again. And have that kind of stuff for you guys. And who knows? I may even launch some of my artwork into an art book or something. Who knows? Because I do definitely want to start releasing my darker artwork as prints. Because I do have a lot of dark artwork that I've been working on that I would like to release as prints. Some of them, I would like to definitely, have, say, an art book full of my artwork, put into it and self-published and released through that. I definitely would like to have that happen as well. But like I said, for right now, my main goal is to get to that point. We are not at that point yet. We are at the starting line. So, there is that. But, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and explain to you guys what I plan on doing for this channel, what I'm excited for, and hopefully those of you that, do stick around and join me on this journey, hopefully you guys, are able to get some sort of inspiration. Hopefully I'm able to help you guys in some way. I will be doing I will actually be starting a podcast too on the side. I will be starting a podcast too where I dive into the psyche and the psychological aspects of how trolling leads to bad stuff. I will be doing that as well. So I'm definitely excited for that. But with that being said, guys, I love you guys. I'm about to sit down and eat dinner and watch one of my favorite YouTubers who I just seen posted a live, not a live video, but a new video. So I'm gonna go watch that, eat dinner, and anyways, guys, I love you guys. And as of right now, as of here on April 19th, 2025 at 9:05 p.m., my full journey to recovery has officially started. So, your boy's about to be back to his old ways here soon enough. It's definitely gonna be a struggle, but I know I got a great support team. I got great friends. I've got an amazing family to help keep me going. So, here's to me being on the full road to recovery. I love you guys, and I will see you guys either later tonight or tomorrow morning for a video or a live stream. I'm not sure which yet, but I love you guys, and like I always say, stay humble, stay positive, keep being yourself, and just remember, nothing is worth taking your life over. Nothing is worth taking your life over. Whether it's a comment, whether it's somebody bullying you, whether it's someone harassing you, bad relationship, whatever it is, nothing is worth taking your life over. So, keep living for yourself. Keep living for those that matter. I love you guys. Peace.
You can't hide from us, Chance. We hear and see all.
About 51% of you sub. Let's get it to 60%.